All right, so we're going to talk about the Shag Master hoodie and the Lynx hoodie. The Lynx is obviously the female version. The Shag Master is the male version. What these are is there are Thermal Pro high loft mid layers. They can also act as an outer layer as long as you don't need any type of elemental protection or weather protection. What's so great about the Shag Master and the Lynx is obviously the fabric itself, that Polartec Thermal Pro in a high loft. So basically what that means is Thermal Pro is the technology, the loftness of it is kind of the softness of it, if you will, or the length of the actual fleece itself. So with these are a high loft, which means you have kind of really long fibers, if you will, that come off the garment on the face as well as on the inside, and that's what gives it that shaggy appearance, if you will, or also that soft feeling when it's next to skin. These are also not just for comfort, but also have some technical abilities as well. So on the inside of the face fabric, if you will, the fabric isn't quite as long or shaggy, if you will, than the face. And what that really allows you to do is heat gets trapped in those fibers, and then it actually retains the warmth of the garment. So if you're just sitting still, or if you're in a climate that has no wind or anything of that nature, it's going to act as an insulation layer. Now, the minute wind starts to get applied to the situation, it's gonna move through the garment. Now, it's not like a small breeze or something like that, but if you were to get into, say, 15 mile per hour or more in terms of wind, you are going to start to feel that breeze through the garment, and that's by design through the fabric. It helps you regulate your temperature. Now, if it's frigid outside and windy, this may not be the best garment to have as a mid layer. But if this is all that you have, we'd certainly suggest having a shell over it. Now, what that does is that allows you to retain the warming properties of the garments, and then obviously you have that layered protection against the wind, so you won't get that wind to move through and kind of move that heat and regulate that heat. Some other features of these, on the insides, they're also lined with kind of a mesh. I'll try to show you here. So the pockets in here are lined with mesh on the sleeves and down here on the torsos. Same for the Shag Master that you see here. And again, that's by design. The idea being maybe there isn't enough wind, or it's a still environment, but you're starting to heat up and you want to move some of that heat, or you want to regulate, but you don't want to take the layer off. What you can do is start to unzip the pockets that are on the biceps and in the torsos, and that allows some of that heat to move out of the garment. Conversely, if there's small wind or a breeze or something like that, you can have that wind or breeze move through that mesh and kind of cool you down. So it's a extremely comfortable piece to wear, but it does have some high technicality through the designs. Just to quickly go over kind of the features and benefits besides everything we just touched on. Full zip up on both the Lynx and the Shag Master. You have adjustable hood on the Lynx, no adjustable hood on the Shag Master. The collars kind of go all the way up, as you can see here, and then you have a three-piece hood that you can really cinch down and adjust down, so you really get kind of a full face protection. It's the same for the Shag Master, as you can see here. The bills on both the hoods are reinforced with our nylon, our amphibious cloth nylon, or AC cloth, if you will. So it should kind of, the hood would rest kind of over your head, so if you do get into some moisture, it should drip down over your face there. Speaking of which, these are not waterproof or really water resistant, but because of the thickness of the fleece, you could get into some light snow or light moisture. We're talking like anything from a fog to a mist or a very light snow. You're not going to get any penetration on the inside. Now, as you start to soak this garment and the full strand of fleece gets soaked, you are going to start to feel it. So it's certainly not recommended as a layer you would want to wear if there's a chance of a downpour or something like that. But it'll certainly act as a kind of a very low range protection if you get caught in some just mild weather. Going back to some of the other features and benefits, you have AC or amphibious cloth, which is 100% nylon reinforcement on the elbows, moving down to the forearms on both the Lynx and the Shag. And then on both the Lynx and the Shag, you have thumb hole slots here, and that's to just help you layer it, because they do add a little bit of bulk to your overall figure. It could be tricky sometimes to get in and out of an outer layer or an additional layer that you want to put on. So that's why the thumb holes are there. Plug your thumbs in the holes, get into the next layer, and then undo them or leave them however you see fit. Moving over to the shag, there's a little bit of internal organization going on in the torso, just a little bit. You have one little kind of slot pocket here for a knife, flashlight, or pen, and then you have an anchor point. So if you want to, attach something via lanyard or hang your keys or something like that, it kind of just keeps them from hanging down low here in the chest area. And then you have a little kind of cutout up here for a media port, just to kind of show you what that looks like here. There you have it. That's your quick overview of the Shag Master hoodie and the Lynx hoodie.